It was a brand new decade, a fresh new start, and time for teams to start spending a bit of money selling a few players to reinforce their squad for the second half of the season. So that's right, you've guessed it. In today's video, we've compiled the best of the best January transfers, all the signings that have gone on in the window. We've got them all in one team. I'm going to see how they all perform as a collective in a couple of career mode seasons. A quick shout out to today's video sponsor, it is OneFootball. If you're looking for the latest transfer rumors, news, videos, and everything the footballing world has to offer, make sure to check it out. The app is completely free and it's available both on iOS and Android. You can track your favorite Wonder Kids, competitions, teams, stats, and much more. The download link is in the description. It's a must-have app for every football fanatic. Now, could the January transfers team take the title out? Could they win some silverware? What is going to go on with this January transfers team? We're going to find out in today's video. If you do go on to enjoy, make sure to slap a like on it down below, hit subscribe, turn on those notifications as well. We're getting so close to 50,000 subscribers. And guys, let me know down below, how did your club do in the January transfer window? Did you get the signings you wanted? Who did you sell? And also, are your new signings going to flop? Are these players going to flop? Or are they going to succeed at their new clubs? And also let me know down in the comments, who did I miss out in this team, as I'm sure you guys will let me know anyway. January was a bit of a fascinating, a bit of an interesting time in the footballing world. Not too many major deals going on, especially in the goalkeeper department. We only have Mattia Perin going back to Genoa and Radu from Romania going over to Parma. Not really many goalkeepers I found, so that was a bit of a struggle for this team, but at least we've got a solid one here with Perin. Moving over to the left back, and now this is another position quite shallow. We do have Danny Rose moving over to Newcastle. He did make a deadline day switch, I do believe, so that was a last minute addition into this squad. Mattia Caldara moved back to Atalanta from AC Milan, and then we have Simon Kaya, the Danish centre back, moving from Atalanta to AC Milan. We also had the French wonder kid from Barcelona loaned out to Schalke. It is Jean-Claire Todibo. All the career mode fans and enthusiasts know all about this guy. Barcelona obviously couldn't probably fit him into the squad. In the right back position, we've actually got two players. They moved out on loan. They weren't permanent transfers, but it's Alvaro Odriozola and Alessandro Florenzi. Odriozola going out to Bayern Munich and Florenzi out on loan at Valencia. Now at the CDM spot, we've got three major transfers right here. We're going to start it off with Lucas Trossard moving over to Hertha Berlin. He won't be the only Hertha Berlin player in this list. Believe me, they had a banging transfer window. Nevertheless, Benfica went out and signed Julian Weigl from Borussia Dortmund, and then it's Sheffield United's Norwegian Sander Berge moving over from Genk in the Belgian league over to the Premier League. He's joining the Blades alongside Daniel Podence, who's also making a Premier League switch. You've always got to love a Wolves new Portuguese summer transfer signing. Nevertheless, they went ham on the Portuguese players once more, and Wolves continue on the tradition of having so many Portuguese talents at the club. Arriving from Olympiacos, I'm sure he'll be a valued addition to the squad. Napoli went out and reinforced in the transfer window. They got themselves a few signings. Nevertheless, we've included Stanislav Lobotka, another career mode favourite on the move, 24 years of age, a Slovakian. Kind of feels the vibe of a Matic Hamsik replacement. Nevertheless, it's probably a perfect fit for Napoli, and I'm sure he'll fit in straight in the Serie A. And then we have another career mode wonder kid making a move. It is Aurélien Tchouameni. The 19-year-old French midfielder moves over from Bordeaux to Monaco, so a little Ligue 1 switch that I'm sure caught the eyes of a few career mode fans. Alongside Ezequiel Palacios, we've got a lot of midfielders signing on the dotted line, and that included one of the earliest deals to happen in the window. Basically, it was the wonder kid from River Plate straight after the Copa Libertadores. He moved over to Europe. Bayer Leverkusen took the chance on him, and the 20-year-old will be playing his football in Germany. From one exciting prospect to another, we have Dani Olmo, yet another highly touted Spanish midfielder. He was destined to move in the summer from Dinamo Zagreb, and finally it took till January and it pulled through. He's now at RB Leipzig, so that is a brilliant pickup for the Germans. Okay, right now, two in a row. We probably have the signings of the windows coming up. We have the Danish playmaker Christian Eriksen, Spurs' main man, leaving North London on a pretty cheap deal, £20 million to Inter Milan. It seems like all the the ex-Premier League stars are joining the Italian Scudetto contenders, and it looks like Christian Eriksen was one of the deals of the window alongside his centre attack and midfield counterpart Bruno Fernandes out of Sporting Lisbon. Oh my goodness, this took ages, man. It was supposed to happen in the summer, it was back on in January, it was off again, it was back on again. All of a sudden in the last final few days, Ed Woodward and United got their shit together, and we've gotten Bruno Fernandes. It's taken a while, but he's finally here, and he's perfect. In contrast, Liverpool picked up Takamuni Minamino, the Japanese 24-year-old from RB Salzburg, pretty early in the window. One of the first deals, I believe it was even done before January. A transfer that is a bit controversial in my opinion. It is Dejan Kulusevski, one of the breakout stars in the Serie A this season at Parma. And yeah, Juventus just came in, because they need every single good player in the world. The young Swede will be joining them in the summer. Nevertheless, he's still at Parma. I don't know how his career is going to pan out from there. He's probably not going to get much game time at Juve, but we'll move over to Stevan Bergwijn, who just recently scored his debut goal for Tottenham Hotspur, arriving from PSV. The 21-year-old Dutch winger is set to have a big future in the Premier League, and he is part of Spurs' January business that actually turned out to be quite good. I mean, they had a decent window, and I rate that signing, Spurs. Good on ya. Jose Mourinho is getting those deals over the line, and you've got to respect that. As we take a glance over at the attack, it's the strikers coming in here with Rainier Jesus, the new Brazilian talent, over on his way to Real Madrid. Like most transfer windows, Real Madrid have always got to pick up a young Brazilian on the rise, and Jesus Rainier is no different with the growth test on the channel. Make sure to check that out. As we have Erling Braut Haaland, it looks like he's the signing of the window so far. He's proven his worth already. The Norwegian hitman, he was absolutely tearing it up at RB Salzburg, and he's continued on that form to Borussia Dortmund. I mean, he was linked to Manchester United. Now he's over at Dortmund, absolutely slaying the Bundesliga. He's entered the new decade with a point to prove, and they much needed a striker after selling Paco Alcacer. The Spanish goal scorer is now over at Villarreal in La Liga. He's back in his home nation. As now we're going to take a look at Duvan Zapata. I mean, he was at Atalanta for a while. He was only on loan, and now they've made the deal permanent from Sampdoria for £15 million, £20 million in that range. Colombian target man tearing up the Serie A, and he's going to continue to do so for La Dea. And then we have Gabriel Barbosa, Gabigol of all players. He moved over to Inter Milan. I mean, his loan spell ended, and then Flamengo bought him back, and now he's removed from FIFA again. So, I mean, it was good to have him back for a while. We're not going to be seeing him for quite a while until he gets added back into FIFA, which I don't see coming. And over here, we have the last two strikers, and it involves one club basically buying a striker and also selling a striker. This is on the selling side. It is Christoph Piontek, El Pistolero. He's off to Hertha Berlin, a German team who had a brilliant transfer window. They bought smart, and the Polish gunslinger is off to the Bundesliga to play in the capital, and that means AC Milan had to bring in one man and one man only, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, the Swede, 37 years of age. He's still got the quality, class is permanent. He's been one of AC Milan's best players in January. And finally, Zlatan is back in Europe, and it's good to see, especially as he's back in Italy, back in Milano, and that is going to be the squad, the best 2020 January transfers that occurred this window. Let me know who I missed out on, of course, and this is how they will be lining up in the 4-3-3 formation. I'm going to put Zlatan up top alongside Barbosa on the right. He can play a right wing. Bergwijn will be on the left, and then the midfield three of Eriksen, Weigl, and Bruno Fernandes. The back two will be Caldara and Kaya. On the left back and right back position will be Odriozola and Rose. Perin will be our number one. As we take a look at our bench and reserves, it's actually quite decent. We've got a few players that can grow, a few players that could cause some damage off the bench, let's just say. Let me get this straight. It hasn't been one of the most interesting or captivating transfer windows. Nevertheless, enough significant signings have taken place right here in order for us to make a team and in order to impact the season of football as a whole. We're going to simulate to the end of the season to see where this squad in general could finish in the Premier League. Let's get into it. And it was one of my major concerns with this squad, the defense and the goalkeeping spot, which is oh so crucial in these career mode simulations. And look at that, they finished 6th in the Premier League in season 1. Okay, Spurs taking out the title there with 105 points. Just coincidence that we're using Arsenal and Spurs win the league. Nevertheless, we miss out on European competition by quite a big margin, and that is not a good sign. It was a round 4 FA Cup knockout to Liverpool 4-2 that saw us eliminated there, and we received an absolute spanking. We got decimated by Liverpool 9-0 on aggregate. I honestly don't even know. I don't even want to talk about that. the Carabao Cup semi-finals saw us getting humiliated. We did have some Europa League action though to report on. 6 wins out of 6 in that, 18 points in Group F. We move over to the round of 32 and it looks like they beat Copenhagen 4-0. Round of 16 time and it was a 3-1 aggregate victory over the Portuguese side Benfica, a 5-1 victory over the Spanish Espanyol, and then a 5-1 victory again on aggregate to Frankfurt. And that means they face Sevilla in the final. We all know they're Europa League specialists, Europa League experts. And this is our probably one and only route into European football next season. And here's our starting 11 going into the final. We've made a few adjustments. We've included Olmo in the midfield. Eriksson will move into the center. Weigl gets pushed back to center back. And we have Florenzi being a makeshift left back. So here goes nothing. It's all going down tonight in Europe. Our job is on the line. Can the January transfers team get some silverware and win it here? Gabriel Barbosa, Eriksson, and the makeshift left back Florenzi get the job done in a 3-1 dominant victory over Sevilla, and that is the Europa League crown to their name. A massive achievement. Ibra had a little bit of a cameo as well, but that means Champions League football and UEFA Super Cup to look forward to in Season 2. And I mean, Zlatan has never won a Champions League, but hey, I think that's the closest he's going to get. We qualify for the Champions League next season, but the Europa League, hey, it's still a European crown, and it just doesn't feel right seeing Eriksson and Arsenal combining. I should have thought of that before making them all join Arsenal. Nevertheless, we'll move on. And to wrap off the first season of the January transfers team, here were the main performers, the recap, and of course it is Christian Eriksen, the Danish cam, with 26 goals and 24 assists, 50 goal contributions for the day, and that is out of this world. And then we have the new Spurs boy in real life, Steven Bergwijn, with 23 goals and 11 assists in 66 appearances. Zlatan Ibrahimovic also got his fair share of goals in there as well, 20 and 1 assists. Gabriel Barbosa, he only scored 11, but hey, that one in the final was oh so important. And then Bruno Fernandes, he could improve in Season 2, 9 goals and 11 assists. Danny Rose from left back with 7 goals. Lorenzi from left back, another goal scorer in the final. And there we go, Ezequiel Palacios with 6 goals and 2. Paco Alcacer with only 6 goals. Lobotka from midfield doing alright. Kaya from centre back. Odriozola from right back. Dani Olmo and Duvan Zapata all getting 3 goals. Alan's off the bench, not getting all too much love, but he should be growing in the next season. And then Mattia Perin, our number 1 in goal, with 24 clean sheets. And poor Christoph Biontek, he's only gotten 1 game under his belt. You gotta feel sorry for the lad. At the end of the day, our job might be on the line. They might have struggled in the Premier League, but we've won the Europa League in Season 1. We qualify unconventionally for the UCL, and we move on to Season 2. The best 2020 January transfers team have a chance of redemption in Season 2. So we've arrived at the second season, and this will be the starting 11 going into it. We have a very hype and promising team. I mean, of course, we have our obvious flaws, but the attack and midfield are looking in tip-top shape. The UEFA Super Cup final, which we're all anticipating, we're matched up against none other than Barcelona. It's not going to mean all too much in the grand scheme of things, so let's just get it underway. Could we win some silverware to start off the second season? And it's Suarez coming away with a goal and a 1-0 victory for Barcelona. Not the best of games, but we're going to focus on the Champions League, and we're going to get our revenge there. Well, then it looks like the January transfers team, they've proven me wrong in the Champions League. They've got Bayern, Valencia, and Lokomotiv Moscow. They finished on top ever so slightly by 11 points. 3 teams on 11 points. It went down to the wire. Nevertheless, unconventionally, they got themselves into the round of 16 up against RB Leipzig, Dani Olmo's team that he joined in real life. So halfway through to Season 2, things are looking promising. Well, it all comes down to this end of Season 2, and in the Premier League, it's their best ever performance, finishing in 3rd, and they were only 7 points away from the title. Man City taking it out, 1 point above Tottenham, and we also have Manchester United, Chelsea finishing just outside the top 4. Alright then, it looks like we have an FA Cup final to look forward to as well towards the end of the season, so it's good to see that we have a chance of redemption once more, considering our 9-0 aggregate loss to Liverpool in Season 1. Don't remind me, I'm getting PTSD. Nevertheless, the signs aren't looking promising. In the Carabao Cup, Manchester United taught us a lesson. 4-0 on aggregate. Yeah, I'm starting to worry now. We all saw the group stage heroics. Now it was time for the round of 16. And yeah, the miracle got cut short. We lost 4-2 on aggregate to RB Leipzig. And our champions' European dream was over in the final. It is Manchester United versus Manchester City. So I do not think this FA Cup final is going to go well either way. And you know what? Why not? We're going to go ahead and play this one against Liverpool. I'm not trusting the simulation system. I'm not going to let this end of the video go on a sour note to lose to Liverpool. So we're going to play it here today at Wembley for a shot at the FA Cup trophy. Might go ahead and regret this. I'm not too sure. but the 2020 January transfers team, they've earned it, and we're going to get a game with them. Here was the road to the final. We beat out Aston Villa, Manchester City on the way, okay, so respectable, and Bournemouth. Today we've decided to start Haaland up top. Dani Olmo joins the midfield, and it's basically the same starting 11 that ended off season 1. Haaland, Barbosa, and Bergwijn will be the attacking 3. Caldara, Weigl, the centre-back partnership. Let's get this show on the road. We're in business today. The FA Cup trophy is on the line. Over to Bruno Fernandes. He'll switch to play. That is elegant stuff. And it will be Christian Eriksen to slip through. Erling Braut Haaland. Alisson saves. And Haaland again. Bruno Fernandes through to Dani Olmo. And the number 7 wiggles around his player. And now it is Steven Bergwijn. Bergwijn. Alisson again with a save. Dani Olmo. Here we go. Bergwijn. The man who Tottenham spent a lot of their money on this January. What can he show us here? The Dutchman. He cuts back inside. Dani Olmo also making a run. The Spaniard makes his way through. And he'll see someone at the back post. It will be Barbosa lurking. And he picked him out so perfectly. Flamengo are getting back their Brazilian. And he scored here in the FA Cup final. The Brazilian gets to make his mark on the Wembley pitch. He's exchanging a few punches with Liverpool and the cameraman. He should be on the next YouTuber boxing card. And there we go. What a finish. At the back post, it was an empty net. Bloody Eddie Hearn, sign him up. I think that guy could knock out Jake Paul. Gabigol finds it through to Haaland, who's been not at his best tonight. Dani Olmo will have a crack, and have a crack he will. The Spaniard unleashes a wonderful finesse shot. It's a world-class attempt from RB Leipzig's new man, and what a goal that is. The wonder kid with a goal in the final, and he just took it on his own. Bruno Fernandes set him up. The defense just let off. He doubles our advantage, and this January transfer side have stepped up to the plate here in the FA Cup final. Now through to Dani Olmo. He sees that runner Bergwijn, who's been a menace down that left-hand side. The Dutchman continues to roam forward. Fabinho can't catch up. He'll cut back inside. Finds a bit of space. Over to Dani Olmo, the goal scorer. He'll set one up as well. Bruno Fernandes with a bit of a heavy touch. Now through to Haaland. Haaland finds it through to Barbosa. And we're just cutting through them like a hot knife through butter, and the Brazilian gets his double. It's another one for Gabigol, and he is loving life here in this January transfers side. What a game he has had so far, and Haaland with the assist. He held play up so beautifully. He smashes another one home past his fellow countryman in net. It is 3-0, and we are looking like runaway champions. And now Haaland can Bergwijn over the top. That is a scrumptious ball. The Dutchman cuts back inside. He's been a menace down that left-hand side all night. Now Haaland might get his name on the score sheet. And that is 4-0. We're humiliating Liverpool at this point. And the Norwegian, who's been tearing it up for Borussia Dortmund now, gets a goal in the final to make sure of it. And it's 4 goals to the good. And Bergwijn has been an absolute pleasure to use on the left wing. And obviously Haaland just will destroy that into the back of their net. Liverpool getting torn apart limb from limb, and the January transfers proven their worth. And let's just say revenge is ever so sweet. A 9-0 aggregate loss in season 1. We turned it around in the FA Cup final. 4-0. Humbling Liverpool today on FA Cup final day. Gabriel Barbosa, one of the players of the game, and also Steven Bergwijn. It's unfortunate the Brazilian is taken out of this team after his move to Flamengo. Nevertheless, that has been it for today's video, guys. If you did go ahead and enjoy it, please make sure to smack a like on it down below. Hit subscribe, turn on those notifications. We're getting so close to 50,000 subscribers. Follow me on Twitter. The link is in the description. Also, comment down below who is your favorite January transfer signing. How did your club do in the window? And what are you going to expect from now on leading into the summer for all these January transfers? Are they going to flop? Are they going to do well? It is all up to you guys. Let me know down below. I will leave you all with the January transfer celebrations for the FA Cup. As always, I've been BCHD. Hopefully you do enjoy, and I'll catch you all in the very next video.